Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to be talking about the railroad strike that's coming up, the looming railroad strike. It's all over the news. I apologize I haven't gotten to it sooner. A lot of stuff going on. As a matter of fact, there's no end to the news, the bad news. But remember, we take the bad news and we turn it into profit because we want to know what's coming next. So that's what we're going to talk about. Here it is. Looming railroad strike could cripple U.S. economy and transportation. Says workers seek a new time off policy as companies urge them to accept a deal. Guys, if you work in the railroad industry, please put down in the comments what it is like to work for the railroad industry. I know people personally that do work for it, and it is rough. The hours are rough. What they demand from their employees is rough. It has been absolutely chaos, especially during COVID. So, and also, I want to remind you, if this goes on and we see these strikes, if they happen and if they stay for a while, we are going to see a supply chain fiasco, and that is literally putting it mildly. It says a major railroad strike is looming that could paralyze the nation's supply chain and transportation rail service if both sides don't come to an agreement by the end of the week. Union said workers are seeking improvements to working conditions, accusing rail companies of penalizing workers for taking time off for medical reasons. I'm going to tell you right now, I completely agree with the workers and think that they should be going for better working conditions. And let's put it this way, and I'm sorry, I'm going to digress for a second. This is the free market working. If the employees do not like what they're being told or being forced to do, and they say, we're going to step back, then the railroad has a choice. Either comply, make less margin, make less profit at sometimes, but instead of going out of business. All right. And that's what I like to see. And yes, I think that this is something that people should shoot for, because I've heard absolute horror stories from buddies of mine that work in the railroad industry say how hard it is and how much hours they put in. And right now, like they're saying right now, companies penalizing workers for taking time off for medical reasons. Now, the union said rail companies are jeopardizing the nation's economy to force a deal, and that is 100% correct. The National Carriers Conference Committee, which represents the nation's freight railroads in national collective bargaining, said rail employees are provided significant time off, and the companies have offered a fair contract that includes a significant wage increase. While 9 unions have reached tentative agreements, ongoing negotiations with 2 holdouts could lead a strike to as early as 12:01 a.m. on Friday as the cooling off period under Railway Labor Act ends and strikes become legal. Look, guys, please do me a favor. If you're in the railroad industry and you need this voice heard, share the video, get the information out. And I'm going to be honest with you, if this goes through and a strike is put out there, there are going to be very serious ramifications for the supply chain. Let's do this. I'm going to share this story below so you could take time to read it yourself. But please understand, if you are not in the railroad industry, but you are just not just a consumer, you are a consumer. And every day we consume goods and services that we use, that we need, that we want. And if there is a chain in the supply chain that is broken, this time what we're talking about is railroad freight, which is the cheapest way to move goods on earth. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if companies are forced to, instead of putting the piggyback, that's why you see the train car literally towing the piggyback or the semi-truck trailer on the car. If they are forced now to use a driver and truck it across interstates, you're going to see prices and supply chain disruptions, delays in getting services and goods on a scale that you've never seen before. I cannot sugarcoat this enough. So guys, thank you so much for allowing me the time of your life to share this with you. I'm going to drop that story below. Again, guys, thank you. Keep your heads up. Remember, even as scary as things get coming into this fall with the markets, it's an opportunity to make wealth and be opposite than the sheep hiding in the sand or the ostriches. I don't know. They're both doing it. All right, guys, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.